Hey, what's up guys? Coach Darren here from Highlight Hoops, making youth basketball simple. And today we are going to talk about one of the classic coaching youth basketball mistakes of always yelling at your players. Now listen, if you are naturally a fiery man or a fiery woman, I am not telling you to change your personality or change up your style. I am just merely pointing out some things for you to consider if you happen to be one of these type of people. So first, I'll start here. Think about in the adult world, somebody who always has a bad attitude, bad energy, or somebody who's just angry and seems to be screaming all the time. Think about it. Do you really like that person? The answer, more likely than not, is no. Somebody who is always screaming or who is always upset is one, draining, and two, nobody wants to be around. The same rules apply for children. They're not going to like you as much. They're not going to come to you with certain things. They're going to be very standoffish with you because you're not really an enjoyable person, and that's not something they want to be around. Now, for you hearing this, you may think that, yeah, I don't really care. I want my kids to fear me. Because of course, as a leader, you can either have respect or you can have fear. But I'm here to argue that in youth basketball, you can have both. And it first starts with not constantly yelling at your players for every little thing. Because you see, youth basketball is a little bit different than normal basketball that you're used to seeing, like college basketball, maybe professional basketball, Euro basketball, whatever leagues you may be watching. Let's take college basketball, for example. You definitely need to fear your coach. And if you just so happen to respect your coach as well, honestly, that's just icing on the cake. But for something like college basketball, the players are volunteering to do this. Like, they want to be here and everybody's here in one accord because everybody just wants to win. So if the college coach is acting crazy, always screaming, all upset, you know, okay, we could let that slide. And everybody's like, okay, yeah, I know he's stressed out because his job or her job is on the line. And they need to be like this because they need to make sure that everybody on the team is doing their job. Because again, at the end of the day, we're all just here to win. For professional basketball, specifically leagues like the NBA, the coach has to be a little bit more friendly, but at the end of the day, the coach is still gonna get on you because, listen, his job is on the line, and of course the players, they just wanna win. Or I should say, at least I hope they wanna win, especially after all these sports betting allegations. But, you know, I'm not gonna get into that. But youth basketball is a little bit different. If you're coaching school basketball, so that's middle school, JV, high school, then you could be more harsh and everybody will understand. But for outside basketball leagues, so that's CYO, AAU, PAL, listen, people are paying money to be there and they're sacrificing their time, not only the players, but the parents. So if you're not an enjoyable person, that's probably not going to work out. Now, where it will work out is if you're coaching like a very competitive team. So you coming in rough and tough and yelling at everybody and making sure everybody is prepared and in the right places and performing the offense correctly, that's really going to work. And everybody's going to really respect that. Or it would even work, even if your team is not competitive, if your brand as a coach is for skill development and raising young men into grown men or young women into grown women. If that's your brand and that's how people know you, then yes, coming in rough or tough probably will work. But you have to understand that that's not the majority of youth basketball. The majority of youth basketball are kids who are not even sure if they even like basketball or not. They're just there because their parents threw them in, and now they're looking at you to see if this is something they even like or want to do. In my personal opinion, you don't want to be the coach that steers a lot of youth athletes away from basketball. And one of the fastest ways to do it is just always yelling at your players. But let's just dive in further to exactly what I mean, because yelling in youth sports or just dealing with children overall is a great and fantastic tool to have in your toolbox to get the children's attention and to get them to do exactly what you want them to do. But in my opinion, there is good yelling and then there's bad yelling, and here's what I mean. So let's say you have little Susie on your team, and little Susie is trying her best, but let's be honest, she can't really walk and chew gum. So if you sub little Susie into the game and little Susie gets 2 straight turnovers and you're on the bench yelling at little Susie to get her act together and what are you doing? Come on, pass harder and do this and do that and that. That's what I call bad yelling. Because you yourself as a coach and everybody in the gym knows little Susie is trying her best and she is physically incapable of doing any better. So I'm not saying not say anything to her, but I am saying to know your personnel. Somebody like that who's giving you all they got, that is not the time to kick them while they're down. Still hold them accountable. Little Susie, we can't be turning the ball over, but screaming at her will not solve the issue. But conversely, if you have an Ashley on your team, and Ashley's a very strong player, she takes private lessons, she's always doing basketball clinics, and her parents at the beginning of the season told you, hey, we want you to be hard on Ashley because I know that she could do it and we want to push her to the next level. If Ashley throws 2 straight turnovers, then yes, okay. If you want to yell at her, then by all means, please do so. But now we should talk about exactly how you're yelling at these players. Are you embarrassing them out in public and just yelling at them no matter who's around? Or are you yelling at them in an enclosed team meeting? Though it's still embarrassing, it's way different than if the public hears. Or are you pulling them aside and having a one-on-one conversation where you're yelling at them and telling them they need to pick it up and do a little better? These 3 are all different scenarios and have all different outcomes on how parents perceive you, not only as a coach, but as a person overall. So again, am I telling you to stop yelling at people? No. If you're a yeller, continue to yell because that's actually highly effective. What I am telling you to do is 1, know your personnel. Know the kids that you can yell at and the kids that you cannot yell at. If somebody is trying their best and you just know they just don't have the talent to give you any more, that's not somebody you should be yelling at. You should actually be praising that effort that they're giving you. Now, if somebody is good and they keep on messing up, should you yell at them? Now, the answer could be yes and no. I mean, if they're still giving you max effort, but they're just messing up, I mean, honestly, hopefully they self-correct. If they're messing up and going through the motions, then yes, get on them. And when you do get on them, whoever it may be, in whatever scenario, make a mental note on how that kid responds. If that kid rises to the occasion after you yelling, then yeah, maybe we need to be more on top of that kid. If that kid shrinks and now disappears for the whole game or practice, then you shouldn't yell at that kid. And of course, I'm talking about individually. My best advice is to pick and choose when you want to yell, because honestly, it's a deadly effective tool in any youth basketball coach's toolbox, but if it's overused, then that tool will definitely break. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and check out our new website, highlighthoopsusa.com, for more help. Coach Darren out. Peace.